What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best bleed Huntress build in Path of Exile 2. This setup is a fresh and powerful combination of the new Huntress Ascendancy and the bleed spear skills. This will revolve around fast-paced, agile combat with a focus on applying and stacking powerful bleed effects through ranged spears or the javelin attacks. You will use the spear throw or the whirling blade to apply bleeds, to then kite or reposition while the enemy takes damage over time. This playstyle will emphasize a hit and run tactic, exploiting movement speed, bleed stacking, and trap style positioning for one-shotting bosses or super fast clear speed. And before we continue, thanks to U4GM, they are a pro website that provides POE2 services like cheap currency, then even to trade all types of quality items and gems and much more. They have also more than 20,000 positive comments on Trustpilot, and this website is really worth a try. So make sure to use my discount code KATE for extra 6% off. So let me show you the build, and for the main class we are going with the Huntress and our Ascendancy is Amazon. Then for the first skill we have RAKE with the Stomping Ground, Deep Cuts and Blindside. Then second we got the Disengage with the Martial Tempo, Candace and Ingenuity. Then next we got Blood Hunt with the Bloodlust, Bullseye, Heavy Swing, Heft and Close Combat. Next we have Herald of Blood with Brutality, Precision and Vitality. Then for the next one we have the Bloodhound's Mark with Overpower, Inspiration and the Concentrated Effect. Next we got Wind Dancer with the Culling Strike, Blind and Maim. Then next we got the Tame Beast with Loyalty, Minion Mastery and Muster. And finally we're using Explosive Spear with Overabundance, Expedite, Retreat and Primal Armament. Most of the setup is structured around spamming RAKE to delete enemies in split seconds, so we use gems and skills that will support and increase their duration, size and damage, while the rest are powerful buffs and utility skills that usually get activated in the background. Next we also have a leveling build, in case if you're watching this video when starting your journey from level 1 and you want to use it up until about level 25. So first off we have RAKE with the Stomping Ground and Brutality. Then next we have the Herald of Blood with Precision and Vitality. Next we got the Blood Hunt with the Bloodlust and Bullseye. And finally we're using Explosive Spear with Fire Infusion and Overabundance. Next up we have our passive tree, and if you're interested in a full in-depth guide on how it works, then check out my beginner guide. So let's take a look at our setup, and we want to start at this attack damage node and then keep going while taking these three. So Primal Instinct, Eagle Eye and Disorientation. Then next we keep on going until this point and then take this bottom left side. And then keep going until we get these two, so careful aim and blur. Then next up we keep on going until this point and then take these three, so Crimson Assault, Perfectly Balanced Knife and Versatile Arms. Then after this we go until the end and then go up top till we get this whole thing. And then when that is done, now we circle back a little and now get everything until these two, so the Doomsayer and the Bleeding Out. And then finally from here we can pretty much go where we started from and then get all of these nodes in this top right side, and the order in which you get them doesn't really matter, so it's more of a personal preference. All of these nodes that we got are very useful, but the ones I mentioned have the top priority, as they are the most important ones to acquire early on in the game, to make our build functional, and then later on, the priority won't really matter that much. Also, as far as attributes go, you just simply want to fulfill your attribute requirements for gear and gems, and then after that spend the rest in strength. And then now let's go all the way to the middle again, and for Ascendancy build, this is what we have. So at the beginning you want to unlock the Critical Strike. This one focuses on enhancing the power and efficiency of your critical hits. You will gain significant bonuses to Critical Strike Chance and Critical Strike Multiplier, which will allow you to deal massive damage with the right setup. The node often provides an increased global Critical Strike Chance, making your hits more likely to land a critical, which is a key for scaling damage in a high-end content. Then second we want Penetrate. Whether it's elemental resistances, armor, evasion or energy shields, this gives us a massive damage boost. Penetrate is just not about damage, it's also about ensuring that your damage always lands, so this Ascendancy will thrive on debuffing, piercing and breaking defenses, which makes it ideal for dealing constant high value hits in both fast-paced clearing and long boss fights. Then next we want Predatory Instincts, which is designed to enhance agility, offensive power and damage scaling through increased critical strike chance, attack speed and evasion. You'll gain increased critical strike chance against enemies that are on low life, which makes you highly efficient at finishing off weak enemies. And on top of this, the added attack speed will boost your offensive capability, allowing you to apply damage faster and stack debuffs like bleed or poison at an accelerated pace. And finally, we are going in for the kill. When you choose this one, it will grant you a significant boost to critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier when your enemies are below a certain life threshold. This means that once you've already chipped away at your targets and they're low on health, then your attacks become much more lethal, so combining these two last nodes will completely destroy any enemy that you come across. Next up we have our Atlas passives, and the general idea behind this is to aim for bonus passives that spawn a lot of grouped up monsters, such as in expeditions or in rituals. So when we start, we wanna first go to the left side and get all of these nodes until the seasonal blessing, then circle back a little and keep on going until the high road, but of course on your way get the ecological shift, and then lastly go all the way to the middle and get these top nodes. But then on top of this we also have sub passives, and their order in which you unlock them doesn't really matter, so this time it's up to you, and this is how it should look like for the ritual. Then next we have Delirium, then third we have bosses, and then on top of that we have the pinnacle bosses. Then next we also have our expedition setup, and then finally our breach setup. Next we have our gear. The weapon of our choice is the Swift Spear with increased physical damage, adds to physical damage, more accuracy, increased attack speed and leech damage as life. Then also we got an offhand called the Coiled Buckler with increased block chance, evasion rating, max life, lightning resistance and reduced attribute requirements. Then for helmet we have the Cowled Helm with max life, accuracy rating, strength and fire resistance. Then for chest we have the Shrouded Vest with evasion rating, max life and chaos resistance. Then for belt we have the Long Belt with max life, cold resistance and fire resistance. Then for gloves we got the Bound Braces with the add physical damage to attacks, fire, cold and lightning resistance. Then for boots we're using the Soldiering Sabatons with armor and evasion. And for bonus stats we want increased movement speed, max life, fire and cold resistance. Then for our first ring we got the Amethyst Ring with chaos resistance, adds physical damage to attacks, max mana and strength. While for the second one we have the Topaz Ring with the lightning resistance, max life, chaos and cold resistance. And then finally for amulet we have the Jade Amulet with dexterity, spirit, then even more dexterity and fire resistance. No matter which gear you choose, just at least try to get 75% resistance cap on all 4 elements. This is the best case scenario setup, which should be more for an example of what stats and prefixes to look for. Then next we have runes. During early item progression, most gear will be socked with resistant runes. However, once your elemental resistances have been capped and resistant runes are no longer necessary, then you want to opt in to increase your maximum life with body runes or consider socketing a soul core. So right now on my gear I'm not using any runes, but I plan to use on my weapon the Vision rune, then on my shield a Desert rune, and finally on my gloves I want the Iron rune. Then on top of this we need to quickly look into the charms. Charms are incredibly useful, as by having the right one equipped at the right time can save you from dying. If you are struggling with certain bosses, then look into what damage type they're using, and then use that specific charm to increase your resistance. For me personally, I like to use the Stone charm for stuns, then second get the Taming charm for when you become frozen, and then finally we want Amethyst charm for chaos damage. But as I've said, which one you choose will entirely depend on the enemies that you are fighting, so feel free to experiment and mix and match. Another important decision is Anointment. So first up we want Relentless. This is a powerful passive node that focuses on enhancing mobility, damage and sustained action during combat, which makes it a great choice for any build that thrives on staying active and engaged in fights. Or then second of all we got Relentless Vindicator. This increases critical hit chance and increases our overall damage, which is also very super powerful. And now finally, let's quickly take a look at how this build will work. So our rotation is quite simple, but you will need to get used to it. We are going to be constantly on the move, weaving through enemies with sharp fluid motions. Every spear you will throw is not about impact, it's about the damage that follows. You don't need to stand and fight, as we can just watch them fall while we dash away. So we'll begin fights with a quick spear throw, immediately inflicting powerful bleeds that continue to drain enemies long after you've disengaged. Against tougher targets you will stack those bleeds, strafing and repositioning while they slowly tear apart. But then what about bosses? Well, they're all about timing, so keep moving, stay out of reach and just keep pressuring them as the bleed does the killing for us. Everything about this build will feed into that rhythm. Very high mobility, clean clears, and a constant sense of momentum. It's not about tanking hits, it's about never being hit in the first place. So you will feel agile, tactical, and lethal. And just keep spamming Rake, as you see your enemies die in seconds. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my top 3 best builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.